Welcome to the Asbestos Knowledge Empire.
What does asbestos management mean to you?
I used to really struggle with the asbestos management at my site, but now it's a breeze.
It used to be really expensive. I was paying loads, but now I've got my asbestos power team in place. It's so much easier.
Asbestos can be a pain in the arse if not handled right.
We had to stop the job because asbestos was discovered. Now we don't have that problem.
Asbestos management is easier than you think. Asbestos management. Be proactive, not reactive. Think about asbestos first, not last.
And now your hosts, best-selling authors and asbestos experts, Ian Stone and Neil Munro.
Welcome to the Asbestos Knowledge Empire. I'm Ian Stone.
I'm Neil Munro.
So today we're talking about rice. Rice.
Not the stuff you eat.
Not Uncle Ben's. We're talking about the regular interlaboratory counting exchanges. That rolls off your tongue easy. Do you know what I mean? So a few podcasts ago, we spoke about the AIMS, which is the bulk analysis, the actual physical asbestos sampling analysis. Whereas rice, it's kind of a similar scheme, but it's to check off our air analysts, our air monitoring analysts. Yep. Again, it's an external scheme. It's run by HC testing and monitoring again. And every so often, it's like once a quarter, I think it is, they send out a number of actual slides.
Yep. Again, these are real life ones sometimes, but more often they're made up.
Yeah.
And really it goes kind of against the day-to-day sort of air monitoring slides that the analysts see.
A lot of the time,
it goes against, so you get heavily saturated fibres on some of the slides, and sometimes it'll be chrysotile fibres, which are really sort of like fine and thin and hard to see, and they're on the borderline of countable.
Yes.
Sometimes it'll be, sort of amphibole needle-like fibres, which are heavily, stacked within the actual slide itself, which, are high counters. And then sometimes it will be very, very low counters where it's, barely any fibres on slides. And then sometimes they spike just a little tiny bit, which is heavily populated
with
one area. And they're the ones which throw all the counters out, because when you've got 10 counters on, and it's very subjective. So the way that you count a slide, it's random sort of graticles that you're counting. So it's kind of a bullseye.
If you imagine a bullseye or a target, or like on a rifle, the optical that a shooter would look through, that kind of target.
Yep, so one of those on the microscope, and you move it around the slide and you just count within that target area.
And it's moved around the slide in
random.
Random, not in a systematic, not the same. And we're counting 200 graticules on a slide.
Yeah. So as you can imagine, the counters, they all count differently. So you're going to hit that random area. Sometimes,
some will, some won't.
Some won't, and that sort of kind of throws the counts out. So they're really hard ones to sort of
they are
quantify sometimes.
Again, this is kind of the air monitoring analysts love getting rice slides in.
Yeah, because they're buggers.
They are buggers. But again, they keep you on your toes. They test you. They make sure that you are doing everything properly. So when you're counting an air monitoring slide, you need to zoom all the way down through all the planes on the actual slide. So what I mean by that is you zoom all the way down through the sample, back all the way up through the sample, because the different fibres can sit at different levels within that filter. And you need to make sure that you're
counting the whole slide. Yeah,
you're counting the whole slide. You're spotting all of those fibres that are on that filter.
Yeah.
And it's quite easy on some of them. If you were just had a quick scan over, on first impression, you go, no, there's nothing on this one.
Yeah.
But then when you start zooming in and out of the filter, you'll find the plane where the asbestos fibres are sitting. And whereas at first glance, you go, oh, there's nothing on it. And like you said, the chrysotile ones, I always remember they were absolutely buggers because they're so fine.
You have got to fine focus on those slides to make sure that you do see all the fibres. To calibrate the microscope, we use some calibration MPL test slides, they're called, and you have to see a certain band on that test slide to make sure that you're in line, you're seeing all the fibres that are countable.
And the band that we're talking about, it's not like, it's difficult to explain. It's like once you set the microscope up, you look at the bands, and band 1's easy, band 2's all right, 3's all right, 4 gets a bit more difficult. 5, it's like you can just see it, and that's on a microscope that's set up 100%.
Yeah.
It's so fine, and that is why you have to follow the procedures to set the microscope up correctly.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, you won't get to see the 5th band. If you can't see the 5th band, well, when you then count normal slides or rice slides, you're not going to see those fine, minute fibres.
Yeah.
And that's why it's so important and so key. So with the rice exchanges, every UKAS accredited laboratory counts them. It goes back to HSE, who then basically analyse the results of everything.
And then the lab, our lab,
You're categorised.
You're categorised, and you have to fit in within certain bounds. And we have to maintain that for our accreditation.
Yes, we do.
So if suddenly our fibre counters stop being able to count properly, we lose our accreditation.
Yeah, we can't then trade and do air monitoring.
Yeah, simple as that.
So it's great kind of quality control system for clients. Again, through what we do, it gives you the confidence in the fact that we can do what we say we can do.
Yeah. Again, complacency sets in all fields of work, and this is just a way of ensuring, and it's externally verified, that our counters are still maintaining the standard required. In addition to that, the counters, we have our own internal QC systems.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have our own set of slides, don't we?
So RICE is quarterly, QCs are done monthly, so the counters will have to count library slides and working slides.
Yeah, and what Neil means by working slides, so the quality department, they pull people's slides from actual working sites and take the labels off, relabel them as the working slide for everybody else to count that month. And everybody's slides get pulled. So basically, whatever you've recorded on site for your slides get taken out of the storage box, reissued to everybody, and then everybody else counts what you've counted.
Yeah, it's a double check. It's one, checking everyone's still counting, right? And two, it's a check of that individual counted that slide correctly on that occasion.
Yeah.
It's kind of a double check on that one. Yes, there's lots goes into, obviously, maintaining the quality within a UKAS accredited laboratory, and that's just one of those
hoops
examples
that we have to jump through that the analysts love doing.
But it is good. We work with asbestos. It's a hazardous material, and it does kill people, and we can't afford to let standards slip.
No, definitely not.
So we're really big on making sure that our quality department is on top of all of our necessary checks, quality controls.
Yeah, and that's it. And the thing is, we take it serious to the point of we don't just do the bare minimum. We do more. We go above and beyond. For those reasons, I mean, we want to be able to sleep at night to make sure that our guys are out there doing what they should be doing. And the only way to do it is to test and measure. And this kind of QC system and the RICE system and the AIM system, that's what they do. They test and measure our staff and staff performance.
Yeah, it's definitely particularly important for the fibre counters, because essentially, as part of the 4-stage clearance of asbestos removal works, before the enclosure or the area could be handed back to the occupants, we have to follow that 4-stage clearance, and part of that is the air monitoring, which includes the fibre counting. So before that area can come down, we need to be satisfied that the air is satisfactory, and if the counter's not counting right, then potentially they're going to pass off an area that's maybe not fit for reoccupation.
And that's it. Because asbestos is so minute, that's why we use microscopes. You might have an area that looks all right. However, there could be millions of fibres in the air.
Yeah.
And that is what this check is doing. This is what it's capturing. It's capturing the snapshot of air at that time. And then the analyst is counting that actual sample to make sure and say, yes, I'm happy for the children to re-enter this classroom. Yes, I'm happy for the office workers to come back in to this area and sit within this environment all day, every day. And that's why it's so vital and so important. And that's why the QC needs to be up there.
Yeah. And RICE is just the next level of the quality control. And again, it is the external verification. These results are published as part of the ongoing RICE scheme.
Hope you enjoyed that one. Thanks for listening. Remember, asbestos first, not last.